What's going on? It's Part-Time Samurai here with another Sega review. Now, if you're like me, you spend a lot of time playing the Sega Dreamcast, which means you've got your hands on this controller pretty much all the time. Fans will always remember the Dreamcast controller for its interesting layout that included an analog stick, D-pad, trigger buttons, and 2 input ports that allowed for memory cards and other accessories. Hell, even Microsoft modeled their first Xbox controller after the Dreamcast. Bottom line, the Dreamcast has one of the most memorable controllers. However, if you play it long enough, you'll start to notice just how sensitive the analog stick really is. Plus, a lot of games on the console only use the D-pad, and while I like the D-pad on this controller, it does wear down very quickly. So, why not just use another controller altogether? Thankfully, there's a solution out there, and it's called the Total Control 3. Basically, it's an adapter that allows you to use a Sega Saturn controller on the Dreamcast. Pretty straightforward, right? Now, I've taken it out of the box here, and as you can see, it plugs into the Dreamcast with no issues at all. Now, on the front here is the Saturn controller port, and on the left side is the VMU port, so you can still save your games without having to use a Dreamcast controller. Now, on the right side here, you'll see this little switch and these 2 icons. The one on the right kind of looks like a Dreamcast controller, and the one on the left kind of looks like a set of joysticks. Well, if you've been watching this channel long enough, then you'll know that joystick icon represents the Twinstick Controller, a controller that was made specifically for both the Saturn and the Dreamcast. I've always found the Saturn Twinstick Controller to be a much cheaper option than the Dreamcast version, so owning this adapter is an absolute must if you want to play with the twin sticks on the Dreamcast. Anyways, I've gone ahead and set up my Dreamcast with the Total Control 3, and just for fun, I'm going to play some Power Stone 2 and Virtual Oratorio Tangram, or Virtual OT for short. First up, with Power Stone 2, I can tell you right away that the Saturn controller works really well with this game. You can play it with the Dreamcast controller, obviously, but I always find that I'm using the D-pad more often than the analog stick. What's nice about the Saturn controller is that the D-pad, in my opinion, is much more tactile, and doesn't wear down as much as the Dreamcast D-pad. Also, there are a lot of shoot-'em-up games on the Dreamcast, like Gunbird 2 and Ikaruga, both of which are best played with a D-pad rather than an analog stick. So I imagine some Dreamcast shoot-'em-up enthusiasts could greatly benefit from using the Total Control 3 with the Dreamcast. And now for the cream of the crop. If you've seen any of my other videos, then you know just how much I love Sega's Virtua series. And of course, these games are best played with the Twinstick Controller. But seriously though, using the twin sticks is extremely satisfying, and even more satisfying knowing I didn't have to spend over $150 for the Dreamcast version of this peripheral. On a gameplay note, I haven't experienced any controller lag from the adapter for both the twin sticks and the regular Saturn controller. So if you're looking to get a Total Control 3 adapter, you can find them just about anywhere, especially on eBay, and I'm sure some retro game stores will have them in stock. All in all, this adapter didn't cost me more than $30 US, and that included shipping as well. If you want some twin stick action on the Dreamcast, or just want to use a Saturn controller for some of your games, this is absolutely the way to go. Anyways, thanks for watching, and feel free to check out some of the other content here on Part-Time Samurai. Like, comment, subscribe, and hey, you can even follow me on Twitter for extra shenanigans. Take it easy and catch you next time.